All right, folks, let's get right to it on a Thursday. A whole bunch to talk about. Pretty amazing action. I dare I say some of the most historic moves I've ever seen. I've been staring at charts for a long time. Great to see you. I wanted to jump out early today because there's so much to talk about. Critical levels cracking left and right. Bitcoin 85K. Who would have thunk it, right? All because of the HPC TradingView software, which you can get free trial 14 days. Send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Guys, welcome new folks. Like I said, I don't know, maybe they changed the algorithm on X, but several thousand new people on X in the last week. So welcome if you're here or listening to the recording. Hold on, let me get this right. Sounds like I'm a little low. Anyway, what's going on with you guys, chat? How's your Thursday? How's your lunch? What are we having? I want to get more into Bitcoin here in a second. Let's just kind of update the gold silver situation. But everyone else, get your 14-day free trial and the free membership, sorry, for Harmonic Trader. Just put in an email and then it all kind of starts there. Let me hold on one second. All right, we're good. Checking my sound levels. Anyway, NASDAQ was down 600 at one point, now 350. Trying to make a comeback. I've got the window open. I tried a couple shorts, like two or three, and just kept getting stopped out before the bigger move. And this one right here at 807. What's up, Gold Group? You guys that are here. I mean, we just I don't know how many people are really trading NASDAQ futures, NQ with all the commotion. Seems like a lot of people are now just focused on gold, but here 807, I would still say that's something to look at on the 30-second time frame. Like right now, I'm thinking this is just an overbought little rally in intraday. So you're down 355. Okay, I have to point out. I think we talked about this last time. The 4-hour shark pattern. We're back-to-back patterns, and I mean, look at this on NASDAQ futures. Okay, we had that shark, and that was 10 days ago down at 25,053. And then we ran it right back for a back-to-back shark hop to hop. And that's your range bound. Kind of, I think that's going to be it for now. We were really close to breaking out in a big kind of way. I'll get to that scenario because this might just be capped. We might not be ready to do it. Here's the daily. Incredibly, I don't know if you guys remember, but we over a week ago we walked through the whole daily scenario. HSI, the dot. Think of it as like the harmonic oversold continuation point. All right. And that was right here. I mean, it was perfect check back. It was last Monday retesting the prior signal from, what was that? Back on last Thursday, actually. So that's what's happened on the daily. This is supposed to be the continuation spot for the whole daily scenario. And that's at 25,530. You guys know, like I like to throw out exact levels, and I'm going to say that, it almost was the exact low today, 25,536. That's critical. 25,530. NASDAQ futures on this daily trigger is probably the most important singular number for general stocks, equity, indices. Are we stuck here? Are we going to break out? I mean, come on. And gold doing what it's doing, silver doing the unthinkable. what's going on, right? What the hell is going on? Quite frankly, weekly chart looks like this, and again, Nasdaq I think is still holds all the keys. Like I said, I'll jump to silver in 1 minute, but I just think Nasdaq is the story. Is this a top? I mean, again, a lot of people saying, "Oh, bear market and da da da," and here you are. It's just you couldn't be clearer. Sure, if we fail it, I'm watching. Now, there are one or two things that I will point out here on NASDAQ as like the main focus market for everything. We're in this massive wedge, and we see how tight it's been for the last 4 weeks. We're still under the 50 level. This is an odd situation, but HSI is still under the 50. That I thought we would pop up. We got pretty close. But I don't know if this is going to happen this week. It might be next week. That's on the weekly chart. Meanwhile, Amplified, our Harmonic RSI indicator is saying, hey, we're above a 50. We're still trending. Doesn't look good, but we're still holding above this 50. And you're going to need one or two strong weeks. I mean, how is that going to happen if Microsoft's going to drop 10% in one day? Or are these short-term sell-offs kind of stealth corrections within this bigger trend, which is probably the right perspective? So let's look at that. Let's see if there's just keep an eye on NASDAQ 335 for all of the drama, and there is a lot of drama out there, as they say, drama. I mean, a lot of people just getting hysterical, I mean, just completely hysterical. And then the markets are S&P 500 was all-time new highs. Okay, this week, yesterday, and people are talking like this is the end of the world. So it's really surprising. Here you go, S&P 500, 6,900. We're still looking for this immediate 1618 extension. That's the short-term move. S&P did hit targets. 7050 was a big target for us. So, but we're not there yet. I mean, you would need to see other confirmation up here. No, the bigger 1618, yeah, is 7250. I think that was something else earlier. Anyway, so guys, don't get too crazy on these singular days. Look at S&P, what it's already doing. Look at that. It just, here's the 4-hour chart, which I think is, another interesting kind of harmonic framework in action. Type 1, type 2 on this 4-hour shark, and now what? I would say wait for the next oversold signal. When we bust out, I mean, really bust out, if that's the plan for first quarter of 2026. I don't think so, because the last 3 months have been garbage. But I just think it's kind of stalled. You got some other things happening. Gold, here's gold back up $60. Gold and silver doing their thing. I'll come back to that specifically. I want to catch a couple of these other markets like gold immediately. Gold, guys, 5,600, and our objective was like 5,350. That was the absolute top side. 3618. Where is the? I wanted to show you guys this one. And beyond this point, now we have to look at immediate weekly objectives. There's all-time gold right there. Let me make that super big. All-time gold. All right, I want to walk through. This is just remarkable framework. Absolute remarkable framework for harmonic patterns, but let's just get the 3618 down because that's that. That's that. Where's the all time? This is going back to the 80 high, and well, back to 75. But you can go back, even further, of course. But the last significant generational retracement was from the 1980 peak down to the 2001, 2000 low. Here to there. 3618 on gold, guys. It's really close to 5,500, a scratch above 5,500. So we were 5,600 and change this, or were we? No, yeah, 5,600. I guess that was like last night. And what I'm saying is pay attention to what happens up here. For some kind of, oh, I don't know, just even like a short term super stiff retracement. I mean, something bigger than this. 15%, 20%, but kind of a shakeout type move. But we're up here at these levels. The all-time annual, you could even say, 3618 is right there, and it was hit in the overnight 55.50. I know we've talked about that before. I'll go to the annual chart. And the annual chart, there you go, has all, it's, you're talking 50-year extension there. But look at how this thing reacted. Simple framework on the annual chart. Let's go here. Of course, what do we first look at? Some kind of major retracement. Tell me what happens at the 886. Can you break out? No, yeah, and you have a nice kind of initial reaction. That was the first move. Then what? And we've been looking for this all-time 1618. All last year we were saying, okay, above 3,100, 3,200, something's really happening. And as soon as we took that out and took out the 1902, which was 3,500, again, note how it goes quick acceleration mode. Annual, those are, each bar is 1 year. Then 2618, okay, 4,300, straight on through 314, 3618. You're there now. So 5,600, I would say put a fork in it, and I'll tell you why. The other reason is tomorrow is expiration for the month. End of the month, where people are going to be repositioning over the next week for sure. Rolling out of, front month contracts into the next couple of weeks. They're now thinking March, April, even June. Where's gold going to be? I'd look for the reaction here and now that it's hit. There's the daily. Big fat tweezer candle there, but no problem. 4-hour chart. Gold here. Overbought. Diamond, you're like another hour 30. So let that come off. Again, guys, I still think that gold is going to get to a point where if it does go above the 3618 after some kind of nominal reaction, maybe this is just a dud. We go sideways, 5-10% down. Wouldn't be a big deal. 5,600 all the way down to 5,000 or some kind of retest of 5K and then go. What I'm thinking is we'll get another quick oversold reaction. Something especially like an hourly chart. There you go. Well, there you go. Something like this. Maybe down here like 5,200. I was thinking more like we could have a back test of 5K. Hold on one second, guys. I got to bring that up one sec. Hold on. Anyway. let me come back to this. Silver, really quick. So I did the calculations on silver. Silver was the all-time 2618. Well, still is 125.65. I put that on X, but silver's like this, this all-time 2618, and I think that's a first stop. It's an amazing annual chart. Look at that. Look at the arrow check back. Green bar, dot, go. 2618. Okay. 125. 125.65 is what I had earlier when I calculated that. Got close within $3. That was what we talked about ever since we went ballistic above the 1618, and that was 84. That's so, guys. I'm thinking this is textbook harmonic extreme expansion, and I'm going to respect the 3618 in general for gold, silver, maybe the 2618. Other markets like platinum, palladium, they've also reached for major extensions, but like platinum's like a 886 here. It really needs to blast through here. If not, then you're probably going to do a retrace next month. I do think February you're going to slow down. That was the plan all along, right? Plan all along was seasonal bullish expectations November, December, January, February, and then tail off in February. Yeah. So that's pretty much the thought, where if you're looking for that retrace, it's probably coming. I don't know if we've hit absolute highs for the move yet, but let's be aware of the levels. And I would think silver, having done proportionately, much greater gains than gold itself last few months, we're getting close to that point. I think longer term, I mean, all of these are set up. The big one today was copper, and copper's now ready to kind of bust a larger move. 2618 for silver. Again, watch that there on the monthly, and then we're going to see how we finish out tomorrow on the weekly. But this has been, historic, guys. I don't think, I don't think this even compares to what happened on the last cycle in the 70s. So people have been waiting decades for this move, and my question now is, all right, let's get through whatever this retracement's going to be. I would say put a 30-day kind of a watch window on the whole situation. Think of it right now. I mean, a lot can change in 4 weeks. Makes February pivotal for the whole year. I mean, again, gold, silver doing their thing. All the miners and stuff are way overdone, but then you still have the likes of like uranium, okay, which another area where that got really hot, and now they're coming back. I mean, UEC, UROY, these have all blasted. What was the other one? UEC, Cameco, CCJ. I mean, these are just ballistic. So a lot of this, there's the only way you could try to participate in that going forward is to day trade it and day trade every retracement. I'll give you another one that's absolutely insane. Micron Technology. Okay, that was 60 last April, 440 now, and this is a dangerous market. I mean, these definitely can go higher. but those kind of moves are dangerous. And I would um, just recommend if you're going to go something like that. Here, perfect example what we had this morning. Looking for dots and aggressively trading it intraday. I've been looking at Micron. The one I've been involved with is Lam Research, LRCX, and it's doing the same kind of a thing. This is just pushing higher, and I've been looking at 5-minute oversold signals. I think this one's not really yet moved as aggressively as say Micron, but it's the same type of deal. Like I'm thinking, look at LRCX. I mean, it's just been ballistic. But just taking the shots at 5-minute time frame. Again, a lot of these where we are that they've done those kind of moves. What I'm looking for is, do we stall out in early February? What was the other one? Oh, well, yeah, Microsoft now down almost 12%. What's going on here? Microsoft on the monthly, you got a bad news wrap on, okay, they're going to spend 120 billion in a year. I did see that. You guys tell me, how do you think about Microsoft right now? In the context of the last 10 years, are we worried? Do we have something possible here? I would think so. Okay, just within this uptrend, long term, 10 years, here we go again. And this is kind of like what we saw early last year. Look for we gap fill, by the way, and that's as low as like 390, 400. But within this context, I'm actually happy this is going down like that. Okay, embrace it. Meanwhile, look at Meta. Jeez. Look at Meta, guys. Meta up 64 now at 730. Remember this? Remember the type 2 on the daily? So this is why it really important. We kind of tune out a lot of the narrative. We talked about this setup there in Meta. It's a type 2 right at 600. Bang. Here's target. Your target one now. It's off the shark, but it's again just flushed it out underneath the channel. Take it higher with a pattern. Take it higher with a pattern. We might get overbought here pretty soon, but trade-wise, this is exactly the type of setup we're going to wait on. And Microsoft is going to give you another opportunity. It could be a little touch under 400, but again, come back to Microsoft. Go weekly, go monthly, something like that. All right, I'm not looking to fade that uptrend. And this is probably the third best opportunity coming up in the last 5 years or more. Where are we on the monthly HSI? Monthly HSI is, it cracked like 3 months ago there. And then, what was it, last month on Amplified? Or is that this month? It was last month. So I would still say Microsoft lower, go under, kiss 390. Put that number in your hat. And these are going to cycle around. I really think there's going to be a rotation every 2 or 3 years. You're going to have, within what we've been going through for the last 5 or 7, this is totally normal. Netflix, 82. People are freaking out. I just, again, all I need to let this come down. It's at crack the channel. All right, it's below the channel. I'm not really freaking out. I'm just going to wait on this monthly situation. Look at HSI right here. Deep in the oversold. That is not even a consideration until it pops out. Give that till next month. Yeah. It's all good. I think we got to embrace it. Maybe I need to be stronger on the. I'll come back to NASDAQ here. I've been saying 4-hour time frame. I think I've got to be a little more adamant about levels. And, I was talking about the importance of this shark, what was a week ago Tuesday. And I did think I was saying that the 4 hour and the daily setup here for NQ was a really massive bullish continuation. But we're still going to trade it. And I think that's definitely the takeaway here of this reaction. And that's what that is because it's a type 1 shark. Still supposed to tag 479, guys. So let's see what goes on. But overall, longer term, guys, I'm still of the opinion that we're going to get whatever reaction, correction, retracement in throughout 2026, and we want to just keep buying those situations. It doesn't stop. I don't care if gold goes to 10,000 and silver does go to 300. I don't think it's like a direct effect. Things are gonna change, but market wise, no. And if anything, I'm of the opinion that gold going to 5,500, silver going to 125 are just further signs of the massive generational asset price inflation that started about 2-3 years ago. And then it's been 2008, 2009, ever since those lows, the sheer dollar volumes, the amount of it's just amazing that 2008 was not that long ago, guys. And you have this kind of market. It just, pull up NDX. Because after that, where are we here? NASDAQ 100. Check this out. I mean, again, you think about 2008. There on NASDAQ was a secondary low, and that was 1,000. Now you're 25,000. And this too. I mean, this went through the same type of sequence that gold did. Again, generational move. That look, there's our 1618. Go up. What's that? A 3618. I think this is a good example of gold. So here's NASDAQ off of the early 2000 lows. And then it crushes the 886. After it gets up there, goes right to a 1618. And then there's the 3618. Let me blow that up. And this is a good model for silver, gold, any of these crazy stocks that have, Microns of the world, SanDisk, others. Okay, that was your 3618. And this is the kind of larger expectation I would have for what's going on in gold, silver. Come up, tag the number, have some kind of counter reaction, and then trigger. I mean, no less that was a monthly signal there after the reaction. That's what we want to look for here. And again, you're kind of flying blind on gold and silver because, I'm just throwing up the 3618. Now, that is, I mean, those have been the rules for decades. Okay, that's within the framework. I should bring up that illustration, but it's like this. Look, I'm just saying, start looking here. Okay, that's the maximum number in the harmonic framework, 3618 extension, because we get kind of crazy beyond a 3618. And even mathematically, like 314 really should be the number. But I'll start looking, 5550 here for some kind of reaction like that where come off, trigger some kind of oversold. And then if we're going to go ballistic, that would be the spot. A lot like that NASDAQ chart. So plenty of time. And I think that's what's going to go down. It's going to just kind of expand from there. Where's the annual? Just amazing. Again, 25,700. For today, let's see. Let me go over, really go back to NQ. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, before I get into the futures, we got a quick peek at Bitcoin because we're at 85. Okay, 85K, guys. How you feeling about that? And again, I'm out of the market. I'm really no dog in Bitcoin anymore. Been out, staying out. And my larger scenario, okay, just looking at this analytically, is still going to be watching for this 85 level. Are we going to break down? I would think this weekend. Take out, there are big numbers here at 83. I'll get to that in a second, but we're still harmonically, okay? Who's in for harmonic patterns? Because we're either going to follow them or we're going to just kind of like throw darts. And that has been this retest of 76,783. Retest tag that pattern. It's just like one of these, I call them looping situations. You know, this one went up. Of course, it was crypto, target 1 to T1 to target 2, but still, look what that's where the software generated and confirmation. But all the way up, fails a breakout, rolls all the way back down, and you know I've been saying this is the secondary level after 85. And again, now we're faced with the scenario where larger things can happen. You see gold going just bonker monkey level here, and we're going to get more volatility. That's the word of the day, by the way. And in that environment, Bitcoin's done zero, gold has doubled, silver's tripled, Bitcoin's down 20% more if you consider August, September. And then the bigger scenario, the monthly thing. This is the kind of, the get to the point of it already, Scott, is this. Everybody not doing harmonic patterns. Everybody, every influencer, everyone looking at Bitcoin. Even the Michael Saylor and Raoul Pauls of the world are going to have to say, well, yeah, we're probably going to have some kind of retracement phase. If when we take out the November low, we close below 87.85, then you throw the whole monthly scenario into a tailspin, where then everyone's going to start looking at the prior cycles and say, well, how much of this we're going to give back? Because people will push on it. And I would say that you're even looking at the early stages, guys. This is why, part of the educational part of what I do here to kind of highlight stuff you might not see. This is not a common, not really a perfect common structure, but what this is starting to become and what it will be under the B point here, under 74, is a harmonic impulse wave. Where that whole thing is it's a throwdown 1618. I can already see that. I mean, it's just, I've seen it a million times, intraday, what have you, and this is a specific failed wave. It's an extreme harmonic impulse wave. It kind of slams up against the high, can't break out, especially can't get beyond a 1618, and then gets thrown back down. You trigger that B, goodbye. So I'll lay out kind of a revised update on Bitcoin, which has always been immediate range 85-95, with likely breaking 85 to go to 76, 77, 67. Under that, under 74, under 72, the quicker that happens, okay, one nasty candle, then this is a gap that I don't care if it takes even a year to be realized or more. You're sucked into this major retracement phase that no one's going to be able to deny. So we're that close. I'm still of the opinion where Bitcoin's the problem with Bitcoin is that it's just threatening to break down. Oh, last thing, okay? Again, for the software, really easy to go through this and detect this. Let's, because I think that's one of the best advantages of working with the software, because a lot of people who are even new to technical analysis, this is kind of a shout out to new folks that just start with the simple indicator of HSI. There's no pattern there generated on the monthly, or look at the weekly, but what, this is something we've talked about for a while. What direction is harmonic strength index? Still down, and now we're oversold. Okay, a whole bunch of things have to happen. This is a leading indicator. And so you're 2 or 3 months of, in your best scenario, of bullish action before that would even turn around. I showed you guys this last time. I'll show it to you again. I really compare where we are now, very similar to the 22 market, although the 22 market was a lot closer in terms of price. It had already done the retracement, but we hit the level, and then that was July. We didn't get out of the zone and crack the 50 point midpoint, which would be the definition of some kind of turnaround. And what was that? Almost a year later. So no need, even on those kind of time frames and assessments, there is zero advantage at this point. Enough has transpired where this is broken down, trying to test this trend line, and then with not very little confirmation. One or two of these others. By the way, we could bounce. Absolute last note. Bitcoin 4-hour chart. Okay, that has been our friend since November. And you can see, you go back here where, okay, software has generated the T2 officially, not only on the target 2 off the shark. I mean, this was amazing, guys. I don't know, I look at Bitcoin and I'm kind of like, all right, maybe I should be trading it. Maybe I should be shorting it. Because the 4-hour chart, look, it has been great. Type 1, bang. Type 2, confirmation was a little high, but that's okay. That happens. Prior hop levels were 95,670. Couple of bearish patterns as well. And then we still had this. Another looping. Guys, looping harmonic patterns exist. And it's like this. So it's something, again, where sometimes, even if you're just looking at some past patterns, they're going to have relevance to understand future targets. And this retest alone on the 4-hour was another reason to look at 85. It's a type 2 against that. We've hit the target 2. We could immediately go as low as 82,354. But you crack 82,354, I think that's when you get into trouble. 4-hour time frame, deep oversold. That's what you want to look for going over the weekend. Yeah, I love to see, I would love to see some oversold opportunities get triggered if it was Bitcoin or metals or whatever, but we're not there. In fact, you're here at that 85 support, not getting any ideal signals, early signs yet of even HSI oversold. Look, HSI is deep here. Could be bottoming out literally the next bar or two. You got 2 hours until then. But for now, no. Just let that happen. That was the objective all along. That was the objective. One or two more. Okay, so here's going to be the big, I think the biggest disappointment possibly coming up is XRP. And I really don't, I'm not trying to diss anyone. But if this round trips people, I think you could kind of close the book on the era of crypto outside of Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. There's your monthly chart, all-time history. Thank you, Binance. Okay, you don't fail. If you were a real dynamic, like price discovery creature, you would have broken out and we would be much higher. And here you are 6 months after the fact. And I only see one path forward. XRP. Gonna do this, what, 1618? Off of this failed harmonic impulse wave? I don't, look, again, I'm not trying to just, FUD on XRP, but I've been surprised. But again, haven't been involved with this in almost 6 months. I took my last hit on it, which was last summer. I got caught. I told you guys I got trapped in this move, trying to play the breakout. Positioned on the breakout and went up and came all the way back. And I didn't. I just tried to ride it. So maybe I'm a little sour, but I did see the breakdown here a while ago. And I thought, this is not what they said it was going to do. And with a pattern looking left, this is where, I've been doing this for a long time. And there's still times where I question a little bit, is that really going to happen? Is that really possible? Well, another looping candidate, and you're so close to triggering the larger breakdown. Remember, the flash crash from October was real. And I don't even want to tell you, with the chunk that I still had, when that flash crash printed before the snapback, I was absolutely blown away. The drawdown that I had gone through. So when that snapped back and the next day or a couple days I was able to scratch out, I was like, okay, I'm out. It was a tough one, sharing that with you guys. But I'm concerned just flat out harmonics. Are we going to T2 that bat? And again, we did see other patterns that were slightly higher. That were back here more like 50, 60. Final one is Solana, and I'm just looking for 105, and then we'll see how that goes at 105. Solana breaks down. You're 117. Target 2 is more like 108. The weekly chart, that's why. There's not, I'm not just kind of throwing out levels here. There's, full on complex situations that are unfolding as we speak, where, type 1 reaction goes to target 2. T1, target 2. There it goes again, weekly. Now the type 2, and the dot came in early, but target 2 is still 105.94. You've had some bounces along the way, but I'm looking for that to get hit any day. Could be this weekend, could be next week. You do have an HSI oversold, but there's still some larger turnaround behavior that has to happen. So crypto-wise continues. I'm still looking down. And under 95, I'll say it this way. I think it was $93. maybe 94 something. I would throw the whole towel in. You have this looping situation, guys. 47.51. Anybody think I'm crazy? Yeah. All right. That's it on there. I don't. You guys know how I feel about it. Are we going through this larger correction? Is NASDAQ going to go down from here? Like, are the rest of these going to follow? Gold's up 80, 75, was up a couple hundred, was down 150. Tesla down 10. I don't think it's very much. Tesla, remember, we were looking for this thing to retrace this daily level. And that was like 440 area. The HSI was like 430. And what's happened? Yeah, we got rejected at the 50. So this is where we said start looking. Right here on that 50 breakout for there and there. So that was, what was that? That was a week ago Thursday. I only down 10. I'm not really too concerned about it. It didn't do the launch. I thought we would come back on this and then launch up back into the zone. It's only down 10. I'm not really worried about it. But I think we'll maybe go on the weekly. Remember, the weekly is like this with the type 2 on Tesla. So where is the continuation opportunity? Or should we be looking for a complete target 2? I mean, a good question. Why isn't this a type 2 go to target 2 at like 250? Well, we've been here on the weekly level. This is where the 30 bar limit helps. Is this a dud or not? Because there's T2. That's the first time it hit. There's 10 bars. You had that initial reaction but came back. So confirmation really for the first time. It was December, and then there's the first bearish candle. Where are we? We're like 20 weeks into this. 30 would get you to here, which is like April. Theoretically, yes, you're still in that 30 window. The daily was another bearish pattern. Some counter moves. This is actually way past 30 bars. And that's what I said back in December. Kind of a dud sideways action. That's all right. The first time this daily signal went off was about, what was that, 10 days ago. Are we just going to hold here and then continue back up in this zone? Maybe they were just waiting for earnings. I still think Tesla's a mega winner. I'd be looking for that next level continuation. Time-wise, it could take most of the year to really bust up into all-time new highs. You get above 527, I could see that later in the year. Where are we going to launch this continuation from? And you'd have to fail the pattern. It's like this on Tesla. Why isn't that a type 2? Like, why am I not getting short? Because I think the longer term is threatening a breakout. Maybe 10 weeks ago, 15 weeks ago, I'm thinking, okay, we'll see something off of that, but not much. 444 is the XA level, and you're going sideways. You're kind of in a wait and see. I think April, you get through April, then maybe that continuation goes where you have a dud, and the hop at 536 becomes kind of a larger test point. Could be wrong. I have not wanted to fade Tesla. I just on principle. I mean, you might get some kind of big move there, but I'm looking for the generational type thing. I'm looking for the here's Tesla, okay, on the monthly. Where's it going? Right? 3, 5 years from now, where does this go? Is this a trending stock? Yeah. And I think it's on a new kind of path forward, accelerated, where you can ride it like this. I think that's like a low end of the channel here. Last few years, even. I think it should be at this upper end of the channel off of the last cycle high. I've seen that many times. So, Tesla, give me a spot. Retrace. It's like Microsoft, guys, and I think if these do come together, they're going to be absolute gifts. Probably the last retracement of before the end of the decade. Couple more. Yeah, I can look at that. LAES. Yeah, that's $4. 450. This is 434. Yeah, we had that breakout a couple days ago. Didn't follow through, but again, this is you're just looking for this to continue to gradually grind higher. This is a longer term one. This is a lot in that category of these low floaters that we're looking that are seeing doing amazing things, but they take their time. Okay, base up, grind higher. So not really too concerned. I'd even be looking somewhere around right like 425 in this area, and you'll get plenty of time. Get on it. Probably add more. The other one, well, here's Lamb Research. I just told you guys that. That's Lamb Research. It's up 4, 5. Market's down. Lamb Research, Micron. What was the other one? Oh, was it ASTS? Space stocks have just been absolutely rocketing. Sorry, I had to do that. Oh, this is for my buddy Richmond. I brought this up before, but GSAT, Global Star. I'm thinking maybe this daily high level at around 62 is this going to become one of these that just catch a bid and start a larger recovery phase? Now check this out, okay? All-time history on G-Star. I know it's 64, but you go back, it's like 250. Look at this. So I'm watching that. That's above 70, and you get above 70, that's where this whole thing can take off. The T-bill NASDAQ chart, is that, or bill? I can't see. What's up, JP? Palantir, sure. Let me catch up through the chat. Settle in, guys. What's going on? It's a little after 1 o'clock right now. I started early today, so hit the like and subscribe. Okay, get notifications when I do that. I'm going to try to start doing earlier times going forward. Here's Palantir. Okay, so Palantir, a great one. What is it? It's a 3618. So check this out. Monthly. Just rock and roll. I mean, absolute monster. But where are we now? Monthly chart. Is there something to be concerned about? I don't think terribly, but to get a retracement off of monthly signals like that, arrow, diamond, dot. Dot will be official tomorrow. Also notice, here's the 3618 off of the all-time IPO range. There, okay? That 3618 was 155. Go all the way back here. What was the exact low there? Amazing. That was like 8 at the low. No, it was actually a little bit lower, touch lower. It was like there. So like 146. Okay. What happened? You ran through it, and I think this is a good example to follow that gold is probably going to mimic. Gold here at the 3618. Okay, you would be like right there. Let's say you get some overspill, follow through. Only thing I care about is like after we hit this level, where's the first bearish candle? And Palantir put that in back in November. So now what? Dot, great. Is Michael Burry going to be right? To an extent, to one extent. You know, you're overcooked. Again, I look at this the same way. It doesn't matter. In this case, remember 886, 1618. That's the general stair step process there. 886 was there at 40 bucks. Then what? 1618 was right there. Was 70, 75, or no, 65, 70, something like that. And then there, 2618, that would be, because once you clear that 1618, you start to go parabolic. There was the 2618. Palantir, I would let it come in. Again, there's the daily. Monthly's overcooked for now. Where's the weekly too? Where's that? The weekly was like this. Breaking under the 50. HSI under the 50. The best thing for this would be to drop now. Get oversold. And that's probably puts you like 125. The other thing with a lot of these that have done, this could be the first major pullback since the low. I mean, bigger than even what you saw back in a year ago. But it's kind of like this. You're all the way up there. Where's the 382? 382. You hit a harmonic level up there, 130-ish. And that's not crazy. Yeah. What's up, Mr. USA? He's asking, is HSI versus amplified? Which is the lead, which lags? HSI, absolute leading. Like HSI, you want to see that not only come out of the overbought, but be under the 50 before price moves. And then you're going to see that happen in amplified. And I wouldn't say amplified's necessarily lagging, but it's kind of kind of an amplifier, accelerator. That's where price can do what I call go serial, bar over bar. And that's what I'm always looking for. A couple others. New people, what's going on? Great to see you. Yeah, let me just give you guys a heads up. Again, go over to Harmonic Trader, guys. It all starts there, harmonictrader.com. And then get the free trial with the software that we're doing. That's why we do what we do. HPC for TradingView just needs your TradingView username. Send it to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Where are we in terms of futures? NASDAQ futures. Gold's at 846. Okay, you're coming back. Yeah, again, we're still in a tight range. The longer term chart on all of these doesn't look that bad. And I think even stocks like Palantir, despite Michael Burry, I would want to look for oversold continuation signals. Right now, undeniably, you are at a 3618 on this stock. Can't, longer term, I can't say, all right, this is going right to 500 right now. But if it retraced, then gave us an oversold weekly signal, something like that, that would be a potential point to look at. Not there yet. I'll show you the other one that I brought up last week, and this was a high flyer. Now you're 30+% off the all-time highs. This, okay, Robinhood. It hit the all-time 1618 area. There's 1618 right there. That was 133-ish. And we have on the daily, the Gartley still needs a couple of green bars to put in a dot. So this is early, and you need, like today was the day. We've been waiting for 102 for a while, and there it is. But really lacking confirmation. This is why we do confirmation. You're going to need to see 2 green candles before we could even consider that as an opportunity. All right, it been was a great stock last year. Is this a potential continuation play? Is it something like back in April here of last year? I mean, it's technically should be an even better type 2, but needs confirmation. Couple others. Hold on. Yeah, Rivian. What's going on, Mr. 95? I thought we were still looking for that down to 13.98 or 13 something. What was that? That was Rivian down here. Where was the? Oh, I know. It was a weekly. Remember this? So this is Rivian's situation. 1377. We're closer. Another one we've talked about. We said this actually end of last year. As this broke out, I said, just wait. We're going to get a type 1. And you're there, but needs more time. I would need to see this either turn around and get oversold, which you are now, but that's going to need a week to just pull out of there. Hold on. Daily time frame, you do have this bat pattern. Where's the bat? Boy, oh boy. Where's the bat pattern? 4 hour. But I'm not crazy about it until those dailies go off. I like the idea, and I said this before, at the end of last year, where I thought it started to make progress. Now, just kind of start the turnaround phase, be the next continuation. What was the other ones? BILI. I haven't looked at that in a while. What's that? Here? Billy. Type 2 shark. I mean, looks great now. Up at a hop level, though. I mean, again, you're look at that 1-2 shark. Type 1, type 2. What's the longer term story here? Big recovery play? BILI, guys. I guess so. That's an interesting play. What was the absolute low? I mean, $10 now 35. I can dig that. I really can. I can get into that. I don't. I can't jump right into it, but I'll look at it. This has definitely done a few things where you've put in higher lows and you can project it forward like that. But I would say the next retest has to be under $30. Plenty of time on these kind of situations, guys. I get what you're trying to jump on here. And, maybe we can get something pull back. I mean, there's a lot of things. Initial low, secondary low, breakout there, breakout up there. And then if you're looking recovery, as any recovery kind of candidate, the targets are 382 and that's 68. And then, really, yeah, maybe 618. But if you can blast the 382, 618 is like 100, and then really it's just 886. It's somewhere in that 382 to 886 range. So I like that. Get it on the radar. I'll even add it to my list. I like to look for new symbols, and I think you're going to get a lot of opportunities, guys. We get a stealth pullback again, like we did. If it's last year, okay. I mean, look how last year played out. Crypto's a little different, though. I think crypto is got issues. I really, what I'm looking at and how it's kind of coming together, a little ominous, quite frankly. What else we got? What's up, Smith? Smith is saying that right now Binance official exchanges have a bug. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that matters. Couple others, guys. CRISPR. Hold on. Hold on. CRISPR. This is another one that's been sideways for a long time. Down on the monthly, the oversold level is 45, now 53. That tried to break out. This is another one I've always wondered why this never ran, because this was supposed to be end all be all. I see what you're getting at. Look, bat pattern confirmation checked back 2 or 3 days ago. Okay, that's pretty interesting. There's a whole lot of patterns. Maybe you go from 53 to 63 or 53 to 62 ish. The way listen, one of the bigger things that has helped me, okay, to time these kind of situations, even if it's like intraday, but longer term, you're looking for a longer term play, like a great setup, okay, great pattern. When is it really going to move? And you can just simply go to HSI. Are you above the 50 or below the 50? Weekly chart. And if you're not above the 50 on the HSI, you're not going to really be able to expect much until you do. And then again, look what's going on in Amplified. Clear situation. You're under the 50. Now headed back down. So I think 45. It's a simple read. I mean, just come in generally. What can I depend on to tell me if it's up or down? Couple others. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Great. I was checking that. RR. What's up, Thales? I think RR is another one of those. This is that low flyer. Okay, on a trend line. Look, weekly. Did we? No, we didn't. We retested the weekly signal last week. That was like 375. We tried to pop it. We come back. Despite today, I'm still thinking RR is the path forward is that. And I still say that on the weekly basis, that 370, $4 level, start looking there. It's not accelerating massively. Look, here's a great situation. Remember what I was just talking about. When can we start to expect things to move? When you crack the 50. All right, we got oversold. Bang, HSI is there. Sideways, sideways, sideways. How many months goes down? 2 months. All right, finally, 2 months later. Yellow dot. Last week, check back. Perfect. And we're above the 50. Okay, take a peek at Amplified. Yeah, that's above 52. I like this because all it needs is one more candle to turn that back up and really go. RR 370 is that check back level. It's good. Is that a Chinese robotics? Is that what you're saying, Leo? Let me know. I'd be interested. I'll look that one up. That's one that's on my list, though. And again, I like it because of this. Again, the initial low, secondary low. I said this last time too. Maybe you don't capture the absolute low, but when you get something as clear as that with a retracement continuation signal like that, yeah. Dow's only down 125 points. When is that going to crack 50,000? Check out Dow here. Just shy of 50K. Come on. Daily, hourly, really not a lot. Again, I feel you see the price action on these markets, and it just feels like a lot of things are getting overhyped. Even today. NQ, let's go back there. Futures. There you go, 836. Gotta tell you, so close on that hourly. 526 was official T1. Yeah, I think we're going to still be dealing with that. The 4 hour time frame is bigger, and that was 480. There you go, back to back, and that did not hit yet. So I'm not ready to kind of throw it in that this is over for now. We've got 34 minutes until that candle closes. Let's see what happens here. Pretty crazy. The daily, again, I started with this today, and I want you guys to kind of really keep this in mind going forward, that the 530 level for NASDAQ futures NQ is the entire determinant of what happens going into the end of March. I still think you hold 530 and you break out, despite today, even with today's action. I'm still looking for this kind of continuation. You know, it's you're in this wedge, but the way we look at it is X, A, where's the B? It looks like a real nice 786. Okay, C, and then if it's a 786, we go 127. And that's still the upside objective. I could even say, and this tightens up the stop loss, so if you're wondering if we're going to crash or we're going to break out, you can even trace this out and say, all right, I got another one. X, A, B, B's at 886. There's my C point, perfect, like 886 again off the December retrace. That's it. Like that pivot low at 25K, that is your point going forward, because now you have another smaller, we can trace it out as like a deep crab. The 1618 on that is, 26.9, something like that, 26.886. Or 1902, a little higher, 27-ish. So despite today, that's, I'm focused on all of that. I am looking for immediate daily, weekly candles to get this, to keep this going. Oh, the last thing here of the Qs, we do have a lot there. And I'm still going to wait for the breakout price, which is all-time new highs, 835 to 840 range. And what's up here is that weekly 1618 from last year. Remember? This. To me, I still think this is a sideways dud type of move. It's interesting that we can't really draw or trace any patterns. So this is just a single expansion. Right there, 886 is 628. Sorry, 1618. Hold on, let me get that right. I've been saying 628 on this one. The Qs, what is that? I guess I got that as 634. I'll check that. Regardless, again, what are we doing? Like I said with NASDAQ, NQ, where's the 50 level? Okay, it's well above it. And not only that, the last time you had a test, we've held it. That's all constructive. The only thing I need to see where HSI is not there yet. That's an unusual situation, but that's because we're just consolidating sideways. Look, crack the 50, call it next week. If it doesn't, then, okay, we're not ready to do it just yet. But that's what sets up opportunities. And the rest of them, any of these that are selling off, I would just kind of get ready and look at this like a situation like last year. We're going to get oversold. That's going to open up the opportunity for the year, and then you jump on. All right, let me. Where is? Let me bring that up. Let's look at Bitcoin, guys, because I thought I just saw that under 84. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's come back to Bitcoin really quick before I jump out. 83,600. We're now down 5,500. So, all right, I'll leave you with this. You know about 77, 76, 77, and that would be the flush target for this breakdown move. But where does this thing really fail? Go back here on the daily. Here you go. Prior low is at 80.50, but the all-time, the main number that's here under 85 is the monthly 382 retracement. And here we go again, basic framework. I know I traced this out earlier, but for the immediate purposes, look, understand you're coming back to the 382 for right now. That's 82, 83.5. Right there, 83.5. And we're there. We're there right now at retesting the all-time 382 for the cycle already. Beyond this, I mean tonight, tomorrow, you get to Sunday. Oof, I could see this under the prior low, which is 8,900. A close anywhere under 80,000 probably sets this off, that the deeper retrace, the 77, 76s of the world, are also kind of faced with like a 50% retrace as low as 70. So you're really on the verge of shooting this gap. Boy, that is really something that you're there already. Okay, but you heard it here first. And again, I don't want to see this go down, but harmonic patterns, harmonic framework, I think it's pretty clear you're going to shift into an accelerated drop under this 82 number. Yeah. Anything on really quick NASDAQ? I did want to. Hold on. Let's take a poll. I'm kind of. I want to look for an opportunity here before I get out. Really quick, 5 minute. Where are we on the 5 minute for NQ? I'm looking for this guy. Here we go. All right, beautiful. I've been looking for this setup. I caught this on another screen. We have the 5 minute right now. We've got 1 minute 30 seconds for this to complete. Here we go. Midday. Arrow, diamond, dot. You guys in the Discord, you know what I'm going to say. 846. Oh, that's an ETH extended. What's the RTH? Are we there with an RTH? Yeah, all right, beautiful. So check it out. And NASDAQ futures traders. 1 minute until we're looking for this signal to complete. Open bar trigger is 46. So the next literally 5-10 minutes, this is the plan for the rest of the afternoon. Let me see where. All right, great. HSI starting to dip back under the 50 level. It's not coming off of this overbought signal, but that's fine. Be under 50. The only thing that has not dipped under the 50 level is amplified. So if I'm sitting here waiting, this is kind of what I wanted to get into earlier. But if I'm waiting for intraday, where's the larger move going to truly take place? It has to be under the 50. You see it above the 50 against like a bearish setup. Understand that that's just still going to consolidate. You're going to bounce up and down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're into that candle. Oh, beautiful. All right, there you go. There's the retest. Right here, open bar triggers 45. So you're looking here for the retest between 45 to 55. Can go as high as 65, but it begins on this candle. Not this instant will we start looking for it. The other thing I'm breaking down. All right, between 45 and 55, that's my minimum retest. Where's the 30-second? Anything here? Nope. Nothing really. Maybe back more like 55 up here. And then I showed you guys this last time. Something I like to look at. The 5-second time frame. What's going on? Type 1, type 2 bat. Is that about it? Because this is the whole zone I'd be looking at. I don't have a bearish pattern. I wish I did, but if I'm looking for that to turn down against all of it, it's like right against this zone. 45, there's 55. Let me go 30-second. Where are we there? All right, probably more like 55. Again, look at what HSI is doing. So I've identified this 5-minute area specifically for futures based on HSI. Okay, concrete signal. A lot of chop here, but the thought is 45 to 55 area. Don't have it on the 30-second time frame yet because look, we're still above 50. But if I'm looking for this to turn back down for the day, it's up here. Oh, there you go. All right. There's 55 hit. All right, now I'm starting to look against these prior signals, but that would be the zone. And again, I'm not jumping into anything. There's the 5-minute. There you go. And that is the check back bar again right there against that dot. So literally bar number 1 for a potential setup here against, again, arrow, diamond, dot, trigger on the dot. We're looking here. Just started looking. Okay, taking no action. But if the 5-minute, that's it. Two things are going to go. We won't take out. 65 would be the max. And look, HSI is not under the 50 level. So be patient. Wait on it. Doesn't happen, let it go. By above 65, you're probably thinking, no, it's, not yet, or probably going to need more time. 150 to the next bar. I want to see when you get through this first bar. So a couple people have asked me how to use the confirmation. I mean, ideally with patterns, of course, but even on its own, we talked about this last week. I did a live session, actually it was Monday. We did a live session, how to look at these areas, even for reaction trades. There's 65, done nothing. That would have to be about it for me. Just against that 5-minute. Yeah, again, look, these are trending up. So I've got a signal. It says start looking here for bearish opportunity, but these aren't ready. Yeah. I already did LAES, guys. And, I said, I think 450 on it. The other one's PLG, USOL. I could look at oil here in a second. I want to stick with this really quick, see if we get something after this bar. Bar number one on that 5 minute. I mean, I could blindly take a shot at 65 and just say, all right, that's got to be about it. But I want to see something on a comparative smaller time frame, micro time frame at a 5 minute link up. I mean, there's nothing. Oh, okay, here we go. 5 second. All right, this could be a good one to trigger off of. There's the pattern. Yeah, it's blasting through that area where it should be triggering something. We're not getting anything. That's all right. Like I'm looking in the right area and it accelerates through. That's fine. I have taken no action. What do I think about the rest of the day? I think this 5 minute is still something we want to look for. The other indicators are up. 5 minute is still not only above the 50 but going higher against a bearish signal. It's fine. I'm letting it go for now. I wish I had a pattern here. I had some kind of structure. Even on the 5 second with that shark. Let's see here. Let's see if I can just do a quick one here. There's the arrow. I don't have a dot, but I have the diamond. I want to look at 74 area, but yeah, see, I don't even have I don't have ideal confirmation here. If I'm looking at that 5 minute pattern, guys, again, I'm looking for specifically arrow, diamond, dot. Things like this or that. Okay, that's just a better setup. Up here, we have an arrow, we have a diamond, but no dot. I still think 74 down to 38, probably the play. What was the other one? Hold on, where's that 5 minute? I'm going to watch the 5 minute. Oh, other thing, all right, at this point, I know this thing is a little delayed. I'm looking for this thing to roll over. My indicators aren't there yet. I'm just trying to be patient with this. And this could take 3 to 5 bars. You know, we could be in here for 20 minutes, but not ready yet. I do think that we're getting that early stages. Remember, 65, I don't like to overthrow that or overrun that. This is going a little bit more, but just on that ballpark number, that's the maximum. And we still, look, we've come back and retested, and that's on the 50 level still. Yeah. Give me a second here. 1 second. What about a couple others? Like, what's Micron doing? Where's the there's the 5 minute. Oh, 420. 30-second time frame. What about Lamb Research? Oh, look at that. We're getting a lot of these. 30-second time frame on these high flyers is the way I would do that. LRCX. Come back to that. NASDAQ's kind of stalling here at this. Oh, check it out. All right. We have a deep crab on the micro NQ on the 30-second time frame. Okay. It's good to check that. I mean, I always look at the main contract. It's March NQH6, but sometimes, yeah, you do get different patterns. Thoughts on Oracle? Look, I know it's down, guys. I'm looking for these to generate oversold signals and just continue. I'm at down 7 at 165. Did we at that weekly check back? I mean, these Microsoft, I would say it's like Microsoft. Where are we? Did we fail that? Here, where's HSI? See, and look, uh, it is the kind of the one thing or the first thing I'm always looking for. If I see something that's a signal where this is like an oversold signal, I'll look at HSI. Because if it's going to turn around, HSI will be above the 50. Same as the bearish. Like there's the bearish signal, but where does it crack 50 to the downside? About 3 candles later. Still early, but I would be looking for opportunities, no doubt. Just not there on the weekly, not there yet. Oh, look at that. Alternate bat is at the hop. Hey Dave, what's going on? PGen? I don't know what that is. Precigen? 458. Yeah, I think I'm going to like this. Little overbought at the moment, but yeah, look, this is, jeez, look at that chart. Look at this chart. Oh, I should do a session on long-term charts like this. Look, I want to be the first one to tell you that as beautiful as a pattern this is, it's really difficult to just say, hey, I'm going to buy it 4 years ago at the XA level at 238 and then be willing to sit on it that whole time, hoping I'll get target one. Yet that's what happened. Confirmation told you it was more like 150. Okay, but it's still 4 years. That's a tough proposition. And I think even with the confirmation and then maybe optimal entry might have been back here September 24. You're still 15 months later. But it's a T1. It's going to 542 and it's got, turnaround possibilities. Been a long-term downtrend, but enough of a base. That's a weekly chart. So nice one. Nice one. I think it's a little overcooked at the moment, but get it on the radar. Yeah, look, here's exactly that situation again. And I would be looking for yet another signal like this. So it goes crazy back in August, September. And again, look, arrow dot diamond. You get that configuration. You have to control your FOMO and just say that thing is overdone on a harmonic basis. So I'm going to just respect the fact that this has got to be dealt with. I have to digest this insane pop-up move no matter what happens. I think a stock like this could go to $7, $8. I mean, that's a massive uptrend building. But in the short term, look, you went from 5 and change all the way back to $3 and bang, another arrow dot diamond. Then you're thinking, that's my continuation signal. But now another situation here. I've got another arrow dot diamond. And I'm using this as an example of for people that are, a lot of new folks, new trials. And I do need to do a few more resource videos. How to get the most out of the signals. But if I see a signal like that, I'm just saying to myself, it's not ready yet. I'll get another oversold signal a little later. For now, we're probably still going sideways. And we'll bust out. I mean, again, weekly chart. That's impressive. Give it time. Let me go back to NQ. I'm looking for something. 868. 70's kind of not wanting to give it up. Remember, 65 is the number, guys. And we did go bearish, guys. 68 here. Hold on. Oh, it's this. It's this setup. This is for the day here. Can we get the 30-second to give us a type 2? That's what we're looking for. And then if we're going to get that midday, late day dump, it's off the 2. That's it. Right now, heading back up. I'm always looking for confirmation here, guys. And again, another situation where it's a tough execution. It happens. You let them go, and you'll get another shot. Here, the T2 1618 was there impulsively, hit a perfect 1618 intraday and tanked. But your confirmation is all the way down here. Really tough to capture that. But I can capture something on the retest. I got some confirmation left, and I know. Look, there's the T1 dollar sign that tells me reaction over. Reaction's over to T1, and I'm looking for the return. That's 28.90 though. That's part of it. I see two problems. One, people, they're not willing to let go of a situation. And I get that. You can get frustrated easily, but you just have to. You know, understand that's going to be part of the process. And the other is just not going on confirmation either. People just taking random, like just any pattern. Or taking like pending patterns. I've heard this quite a bit where people see I don't even have the pending pattern feature running on the program, guys. But it's like this. I can turn it on here. But don't wait for the completed patterns. Like here, show pending or even potential. Anything? No. Wait for the T1 designation and the right spot with arrow diamond dot. That's been the best kind of highest probability confirmation. And if you're really desperate for signals, go to a 5-second time frame. There you go. On the 5-second. I mean, again, you see the same signals down here. Are we up or down? Well, look. Okay, arrow diamond dot here, arrow diamond dot there, arrow diamond dot. And look, you're getting reactions off of those. I'm hoping I get an arrow diamond dot here with the pattern up at the level. I think that, well, the 74 level is that shark. Get back to 38. I kind of like this. Look, can we get that? Can we tag it? No, we don't want to tag it. Because that's the type 2 on the 32nd. Maybe not. Does the pattern show on a 1 minute? It might be. No, I'm not. I look for the 5 minute directionally. Like, where's the next hour going to go? And based off the 5 minute. And I prefer the 30-second time frame. I'm going to see more than the 1 minute. We don't have it on the 1 minute, the 30-second. It's like that. And then if I want to do a micro area of like, okay, now I'm going to pinpoint it. Yeah, well, there's an arrow diamond dot. I don't have a pattern. If that was at 47, there you go. That would be a perfect type 2. Trying to wait for the perfect setup for you guys. which is really that 5 minute or that 30-second time frame. Like I've been saying, I've been looking for the dump off of. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, guys, I really don't want to miss this RTH signal. I'm thinking that's already done. Risk the high. What was it? 46. What was the high? Was 91. A little higher than I really don't like it to overshoot it, but man, this is. Here's the thing. Did we crack the 50 yet? Not yet. So you guys hear me thinking, "Oh, maybe I'm missing it." Not there yet. Got it. All right, now we got something cracking the 50. All right. 74. That's a shame we didn't get that type 2. We didn't get the type 2 because this thing looks like even on the 5 second, you want to go to 47-ish. Let's see. Can we get it? Watching the 5 minute. I'm telling you, this is for the day, guys. I'm trying to hang on here. I don't have that 5 minute under 5 minutes flirting right there. We need that to crack. Bitcoin caving. Wow. Look at that. Really quick, guys. It's happening. 83.5 on Bitcoin. And we're about to end this hourly candle here. Jeez. We're underneath it then. 83 is there, but 83.5 is the number. Guys, 82, and then I would say under 82, it's probably 76. Go back to NQ. Let's see if we get that rollover. Come on. It's a pain in my butt. 5 minute. Yeah, I'm looking for the type 2, guys. That would just by definition, I don't think we're going to get it. Not my idea of fun. I mean, the only thing I can say is maybe I scalp something for 10 or 15 points if we get a setup here. But that would be lower. Here you come down. There's 40. I'm going to hit 47 in a second. That's a bummer. Yeah, I think Bitcoin's. I think it's going to kick people in you know what. Um, I like I said, I'm worried about XRP. XRP is the one that could easily get back to $1 or sub dollar quickly. Oh, jeez. NASDAQ's down, or Microsoft's down 12%. Nothing here. Hold up. MicroStrategy, yeah, I don't, but that's MicroStrategy is going sub 100. We said that since last fall, last October. That's MicroStrategy. Pending pattern, kicking it out. Some kind of Gartley there. But full 886 for that is 65, 70. Boy, oh boy. I don't believe I did that. I'm going to say that we're ready to go on this now. 43, guys. Brutal. Come on. I'm going to have to wait for... I need something. I think what we're looking at right now, a dot-to-dot reset. You're here, 43 to 53 is the zone. We went to 90. We didn't T2 that other one, but I think we're looking for a check back to like 750 now. Yeah. Brutal. Can I get a place to jump on here, please? Okay, there you go. Oh, nice. All right, here's a crab pattern that just popped up. Let's play the T1 to T2 return. Like this is 42. So, and our number is 43.50. Here we go. Right back up. All right. Hold on. Let's go. There you go. Dot me and go. Kind of like the last crab. Another looping all the way back down. Hold it. All right, there you go. Give me the dot. Not yet. I'm looking for this, guys, wherever that dot comes in, like back down 26-ish. Oh, 45 too. Right there. That trigger is 50 and change. Come on. Crack into 50. That's it. Then we're go. All right, I'm going to take it right against that one. What did I put that? 45.50. I'm sitting at 45.50. Oh, come on. Well, here's your return back to 26, maybe as low as 12. I did not get, are you kidding me? Looking for a return move back to 26. I didn't get picked up. Now it's counter dot. Cannot believe that did not get picked up. All right. Let's try again here. I just want to walk through, guys. As soon as I had that rollover after the retest, I was literally right here at 45.50, and it didn't get picked up, and it went down for a scalp of 10. All right, here we're back up. Get another shot. The reason why I took off the orders because we ran into that bullish counter signal. So here we go. Nope. We're going to get another one. Yeah, we're overbought. Again, this 5-second time frame, so it moves that fast. Just looking against this 5-minute, larger 5-minute signal. If this is going to be the midday continuation down, it's from here. A 5-second, there you go. How did I get that T2? Oh, the 30-second. There you go. That was the other thing. That was the 30-second confirmation. All right, go. Let's look for that. Do the retest. That was the bigger return. Yeah, I don't. That's why I don't like sitting on here waiting for that to work out. Yeah, the 5-minute again. We tried. We didn't break down. We're not breaking down yet. This is going to stay sideways until we do. I probably need to pick a better time. Probably need to do some things like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. I don't like sitting through crap. This 5-minute, guys, until this breaks down, we're not going to get that rollover yet. It could come. It could come in like the next 10 or 15 minutes, but if it was going to do it, it was going to do it then. Also 90. Retesting 90. That would be the T2 on the midday deep crab. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna skedaddle. Yeah, I think that's what I got for today, guys. Meta, look at that. Jeez, Meta. Meta at 738. What's all-time high on that? 780, 900, or 800? Yeah, that's cool. All right, guys, that's what I have for today. Appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend. Hang in there. Anybody's have any questions, get on over in the Discord. I didn't even pop that up. Best place to hook up with me is here on as a basic member. And of course, get the software. I've got something that I'm going to do the second week of February, right before the President's Day weekend. I'll let you guys know about that on Tuesday. All right, but hit the like, subscribe, send your trading username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Yeah, let's get a better get a better time frame here. But I'll be back on Tuesday. Everyone, have a great weekend. All right. Stay warm. We'll catch you next time. Thanks again. As always, go get 'em.